Hey guys, today we're back with another firearms review. And today on the channel we'll be reviewing the Jacob Gray JG9 XS8 Gray Ghost. Stay tuned for this one. Alright guys, we're back. Once again today we're going to be reviewing the Jacob Gray JG9 XS8 Gray Ghost. This is a 8.3 inch 9mm pistol. This is an AR-15 pistol that does take Glock magazines. So let's go ahead and make sure the gun is safe to talk about. It is unloaded. The magazine is unloaded as well. So let's go ahead and start the review. Before we get into the review though, guys, I'd like to give a very special thank you to Jacob Gray for sending us this firearm here to review. If it was not for them, we would not be able to review this pistol here. And as you all know, I try to keep everything as unbiased as possible. There was no exchange of money or anything like that. They just sent me this firearm and said, give us your honest opinion on it, exactly the same way they done on their JG10, AR-10 308 rifle that I've already reviewed. So guys, let's go ahead and jump on into it. All right guys, so let's go ahead and get started with the review. So starting to tip the butt on this, we have the knurled muzzle brake. This is a black nitride muzzle brake and a flash hider all in one. If you do look down at the end of this, you have multiple different circles here to let some of the compression out, and then you have the center one for the round itself. Pretty interesting design here. As you can see, we did loosen up a little bit for the review just so we could go ahead and get it unthreaded off of the barrel. But the barrel actually extends a little bit underneath the handguard, if I'm not mistaken, maybe about a 1/8 of an inch, or it's right at the handguard. So as you can see, right now the barrel extends all the way out to the end of the handguard and does not go any further. So that's one of the only things that I can see, is that whenever you actually have a thread-on suppressor, you can run into a few problems there with it not being able to be threaded onto the barrel because it's got a wider diameter than the actual handguard itself. But if you do use a extended piston for this firearm here, you should be all right. But that was just one thing that I did see that we kind of had a few problems with, not because of what type of suppressor we was using or anything else, but because we did not have one at the time being that was skinny enough to be fit underneath this rail to do a direct thread onto. So moving up from that, we have 3 Picatinny slots, 1, 2, 3 on both sides, and then 3 here on the bottom as well. You do have air holes here on the top right, top left, bottom right, but the M-lock is acceptable on the 3, 6, and 9 position. You also have an M-lock cut here on the top if you would like to put anything up there. I love that because you can get a full good hand wrap just like this right here, and you can put it either here on your cheek or rest it here on the back of your shoulder on the top of it. We'll get into a little bit of more legalities of it here in a second, but you know, that's how we kind of shot it during the video, was mainly resting on your cheek or just a full extension. You do have a Picatinny rail up here on top if you'd like to mount any lights, lasers, or anything like that. Fixed iron sights, flip up iron sights, whatever. So moving back to the handguard in itself, it is the Ultralight 7 by Jacob Gray as well, and a very beautiful urban gray type of finish. The distress finish all the way through this firearm is absolutely beautiful. It's the exact same color scheme as we had on our Jacob Gray 10, AR-10, and it was absolutely beautiful, and this one right here is exactly the same. So moving on back here to the left side, which it does have on here on the right-hand side as well, but it has it up here on the left. It is the Jacob Gray upper receiver checkering, uniquely designed for the ultimate standout CQB weapon. And like I said, it does have it up here on the left, and back here on the left as well, and back here on the right in the rear end of the firearm. Let's switch it on around here. We have the EOTech EXPS 3-0. Does not come with it from factory, but that was my optic of choice for this. No dust cover on the ejection port. We do have a last round bolt hold open for the Glock magazines. That does work really well. As you can see here, every time we rack it back, it does stay held open. You would drop it as well by either racking the charging handle on a full magazine or using the paddle release here just like on a normal AR-15. You have a very normal magazine release here on the right hand side that is easy to hit. You have 33 round magazine Glock from factory, so that's nice to see. You have a 45-degree throw lever for safe and fire. That is very, very well. I think that Jacob Gray makes some of the best ambidextrous throw levers on the market, because just that sound, you can feel whenever it's switched on, switched off, and it just Barely takes anything to go off. The trigger in this is the Jacob Gray single stage 2.5 to 5 pound adjustable drop-in trigger that is straight. I mean, let me tell you something. If you all haven't watched the Jacob Gray 10 video yet, make sure you do. But guys, this trigger here is one of the best, if not the best trigger I've ever felt in my life. Same thing for this one right here. Let's go ahead and walk through the reset and take up. Your take up is, oh, you're already on the take up from whenever you release it, which is great. Just none at all. So when you already hit the trigger here, you're already full mass. So shooting and reset. Didn't pull it back far enough that time. So amazing. Like I said, guys, one of, if not the best trigger I've ever felt on any type of AR-15 on the market. The charging handle here is an ambidextrous Jacob Gray charging handle as well, with knurling on the back of it that will not slip off of your hand at any point. Very nice. I love it. Moving on down, we have the B5 Systems grip. This grip here just fits this gun overall here perfectly, and I always love the B5 Systems, but this one right here just fits your hand like a glove, and it matches this gun right here perfectly. Moving on back, we have a pistol buffer. It does not have any type of indications on it or anything like that, so you cannot put a stock and you cannot put a brace on this. So if you SBR'd this and you wanted to put a brace or stock on it, you'd have to switch out this buffer for a normal carbon length buffer system. Let's go ahead and take it apart real quick. So now that we have the gun in two, let's go ahead and look at the bolt carrier group. It is a direct blowback system here, so it's not a direct impingement or anything like that, or a piston system. It's just straight up direct blowback. Bolt carrier group looks absolutely amazing. We have shot, let's see here, I think 500 rounds of 9mm through this thing now, ranging from 115 grain to 127 to 147. Everything worked absolutely perfect with it, no failures at all. Let's go ahead and slide this back up in here. Right now that we have it lower, you can see here how the last round bolt hold open works. Uses the front of the mag well here with the follower here to pick up this little piece of metal that will make your bolt carrier group stop on the last round. So I like that about it. So moving on back here to the internal buffer system here. It is a hydraulic buffer system that has no sound to it at all. It's not an actual recoil spring. It's a buffer hydraulic system like that is kind of on the B&Ts. So very, very nice system, and you can also tell that there is a lot less felt recoil with this hydraulic system in here than with the actual spring system like what is normally on a AR-15 or AR-15 pistol. So let's go ahead and get it back together. All right, guys, so now that we have the gun back together, let's go ahead and read a few of the details on Jacob Gray's website about the Gray Ghost. So the Jacob Gray Ghost AR-9 9mm pistol was born from the necessity to have something that cut above the rest in both appearance and function. The Jacob Gray's uniquely designed 9mm checker not only add an eye-catching appeal to the reliability and smooth functioning of the billet machinery, upper makes firing this 9mm pistol a pleasure. Billet machined, billet tough, built to last. This pistol is a true testament to where owning anything less is an injustice, which is Jacob Gray's slogan. Upper and lower receiver is 775 T6 billet aluminum CNC machine to the highest precision and exacting tolerance to give an exciting feel or fit to both. Jacob Gray upper receiver checkering uniquely designed for the ultimate standout CQB weapon. Barrel is an 8.3-inch CML or 9mm chrome moly barrel with a 1-in-10 twist with a black nitrate finish. You have an integrated machine winter trigger guard. Your weight on this is 6 pounds, 8 ounces. Length is 23.5 inches and accepts all aftermarket Glock magazines. So very, very nice. So guys, let's go ahead and get on into my opinions on this firearm. This pistol here is, to be honest with you, my first 9mm pistol, rifle, PCC, whatever you want to say, in the AR-15 configuration. We have reviewed other 9mm AR-15s on the market before here on the channel, and I was not too happy with them. The reason I say that for is because with most 9mm AR-15s with that direct blowback, you have the recoil that is very, very considerable, about the same amount as a 223-556 or even 300 blackout in some systems that I've shot. And everybody always says if I'm shooting something that has more recoil than a 223-556, why am I even shooting this for? Why do I even own it for whenever I could get a 223-5.56 and have less recoil? And I'm 100% behind that. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not, because if you have a rifle that has actually got more felt recoil but less foot per pound of energy than something that has a lot less recoil, then why wouldn't you just go with that? So that's where I have always felt with the AR9 pistols, rifles, PCCs. And this one here is one of the first ones that I've actually seen that is the direct blowback, but has done enough with the internals here and with the buffer system here to correct that. This one here feels just like my MP5 and recoil, which is delayed roller blowback system. And like I said, guys, it's super close to my MP5. My MP5 is still a little bit smoother and a little bit less felt recoil, but this is the closest one that I've seen so far to my H&K MP5. That being said, if you are interested in buying a 9mm AR-15 or AR-9 carbine, I think the Jacob Gray Ghost is the way to go. And mainly, guys, because of that buffer system in here. If you all have seen any bit of the footage already and watched really closely, you can get very quick follow-up shots of this, and you can actually shoot this gun quicker than any other 9mm pistol carbine that I have seen on the market so far. Mainly because of that trigger, which is outstanding. I mean, I can't speak any more highly about that trigger. But that being said, guys, whenever Jacob Gray looked into this and actually wanted to build one of the best, if not it is the best in my opinion, out of every one of them that I've ever shot, this is the best AR-9 pistol on the market. But whenever he looked into wanting to create one of the best, I think he absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one, because it has everything that you want and everything that you don't want. And on top of that, it has fixed every bit of the recoil system with it, where that hydraulic buffer just takes over and it just makes the gun feel smooth all around, and it doesn't have that big hip hop every single time you're shooting it like other direct blowback pistols I've seen. And I'm telling you guys, they just knocked it out of the park with this one. That being said, it's a little bit expensive. It is about $2,200 whenever it comes fully outfitted from factory, from what I can tell. So this one right here should be a little bit less where it's not fully outfitted from factory, but I'm not really for certain on that price point, so I don't really want to talk about that. But that being said, guys, you have the great capability of taking the Glock magazines, which I have tons and tons and tons of Glock magazines, and I absolutely love it for that. So you don't have to worry about having to buy your Colt stick mags that are $30 or $40 a piece. You don't have to worry about, or even more than that actually, but you don't have to worry about buying proprietary magazines or anything like that. You have the Glock magazines that are in everybody's closet or everybody's gun case, because most people in the United States own the Glock. But that, the ambidextrous charging handle, buffer system, trigger, grip, the actual knurlings here on the side of the firearm on both of them, the lightweightness to it. I mean, you can sit here and shoot this with one hand accurately if you'd like to. Everything in general with this firearm is absolutely perfect. And if I could only think of one con on this firearm, and it took me a while to think this up, would probably be that I wish that the barrel just went a tad bit farther out from the actual handguard here, just because of that suppressor issue and things like that. But like I said, if you want to get an extended piston and put it on it, you're more than welcome to, and that would solve your problems if your suppressor is got a wider diameter than the actual handguard itself. But overall though, guys, this thing is absolutely killer, and I could not speak more highly of it. Like I said, it took me a while to think up of that con, but that's the only thing that I can think that I really would change on this firearm itself is the barrel length. I would just want it to be a little bit longer, or have the actual handguard here just probably like a 6.5 inch instead of a 7-inch handguard. But guys, that being said, I absolutely love this gun, and if you are interested in buying the Jacob Gray Ghost AR9, I 100% give it my stamp of approval, and I believe this is my favorite. This is my favorite 9mm AR-15 ever made, especially out of the ones that I've shot and reviewed. And we even talked, just to give you a little bit behind the scenes information, I even talked with the representative at Jacob Gray in reference to this, and I said, hey, I'll be more than happy to review it, but if it doesn't come to my standards on what I feel like a 9mm should recoil, I'm going to tell him about it. He said, I 100% understand that, and I believe that you always need to tell the truth with anything, and that would help us out more than anything, especially if you see something that you don't like, it maybe we can fix it later on. But he said, be honest, you'll have no hard feelings from us or anything like that. But he did say that he thought that I would be very impressed with the recoil system and the recoil impulse in this firearm. And to say I'm impressed is an understatement. Like I said, this is as close of a firearm as I can get to my MP5 whenever it comes to actually felt recoil and everything else. But in turn, to be honest with you, I love this one just as much as the MP5 because you can take Glock magazines. You have a lot thinner of a handguard that you can put lights, lasers, whatever you need to on here. You can get a really good purchase with it. And this is one that I will more than likely be SBRing in the very near future, and just because of how much I absolutely love it. So guys, I appreciate y'all viewing as always. If you have any questions or comments on the Jacob Gray JG9 AR9 M9mm, let me know in the comment section. I want to get back to you as soon as possible. But once again, a very special thank you to Jacob Gray for sending us this firearm here. And I'm blown away with it, to be honest with you. You guys, appreciate y'all viewing once as always. Like and subscribe for more gun reviews, and I'll see y'all in the next video.